W.F. Howes presents an unabridged recording of Bloodless by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. Narrated by William Demeritt.
1. Wednesday, November 24th, 1971. Flo Schaffner was not at all happy with the new uniform that Northwest Orient Airlines had imposed on stewardesses, especially the dumb cap with the bill and ear flaps that made her look like Donald Duck. Nevertheless, she stood at the door of Flight 305, Portland to Seattle, with a bright smile, greeting arriving passengers and checking their tickets. She was not displeased at the relatively small number of passengers on the flight. She thought it would be full, this being the day before Thanksgiving. But today only about a third of the main cabin was occupied, which in her experience meant a stress-free flight. As people began to settle into their seats, she and the other stewardess, Tina Mucklow, began moving from opposite ends of the main cabin, taking drink orders. Schaffner took the rear. One of her first customers was in seat 18C of the Boeing 727, a polite, soft-spoken gentleman of early middle age wearing a raincoat, a gray business suit, a white shirt, and a black tie. She knew his name. One of her responsibilities in checking tickets was to try to memorize the names of all the passengers and their seat assignments. It was usually impossible, but with the plane as empty as it was, today she had managed it. "Can I get you anything to drink, Mr. Cooper?" He politely asked her for a bourbon and 7. When she brought it, he handed her 20. "Anything smaller?" "Nope." She told him he'd have to wait until later for her to get him change. The pilot, William Scott, whom everyone called Scotty, announced over the intercom for the stewardesses to secure the exits and prepare for takeoff. Schaffner raised the aft stairway and then settled in a jump seat next to it, not far from the passenger in 18C. The flight took off precisely on time at 2:50 p.m. for the 30-minute hop to Seattle. As the plane was leveling out and the seatbelt signs were turned off, the passenger in 18C signaled to her. She came over, assuming he wanted another drink, but instead he placed an envelope in her hand. This was something that often happened to Schaffner, a lonely traveler writing her a note asking to meet for a drink, dinner, or something more. She had learned that the best way to handle such approaches was simply not to engage. She thanked the passenger warmly and slipped the envelope into her pocket, unread. The man leaned toward her with a friendly smile and whispered, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Schaffner wasn't sure she had heard him correctly. She removed the envelope and took out the note. It was printed in felt-tipped pen and...
"Sample complete. Ready to continue?"